Hi guys, I'm Mr. Razor, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to another pen test and pen review video. And in this video, I will be swatching and showing you guys the whole entire set of Jelly Roll pens by SAKURA. Here I have the 74 Jelly Roll gift set that I bought off of Amazon for a really good deal at $51, which is one of the lowest prices that you'll ever really find for this set. And then on top of that, I bought this pack of just the white pens on the side, since in this pack it only comes with one white medium or the 08 size of the white pens, and it doesn't have like the 05, the fine tip, and the bold white pen. So I got this on the side so that I could show you guys a full range of all the Jelly Roll pens here. So in this set over here, we have the metallic, the classic, the moonlight, the stardust, the silver shadow, and gold shadow pens, and they come in the various tip sizes from 0.4 millimeter tips, 0.3 and 0.4, and then 0.3 and 0.5, and then just 0.5 for this one, and then 0.7 for this one. So opening this up, so here on the back, this set comes with this create your own Jelly Roll color chart. And this is actually pretty cool that as they note right at the top, please note this chart is not filled out because the ink colors, special effects are not replicable by printing. So it's actually pretty cool how they let you do the pen swatch here yourself. I will not be using this in this video because I want to do a full swatch, not just of the colors. So I'm gonna, as I always use the pens to write out a little bit to just give you guys a better example of how these pens write also. But we have this. And then each of the different packs of pens, of course, have their own separated section. From, again, the left to right, there is the metallic, the classic, and then the moonlight, the stardust, again, the silver shadow, and then the gold shadow here. And then, once again, I have these classic white ones, and these pens work as known on through like the Facebook bullet journaling groups. These work great on black paper and craft paper, and they show up quite well, especially the moonlight ones, as I've heard are like the best set that works in blackout journals. And so, just before I head on to that, I believe there were some tips right here for using these Jelly Roll pens. And I'd just like to read over those really quick. So, starting off over here. The ink in all Jelly Roll varieties is archival except for gold shadow, silver shadow, and the fluorescent moonlight colors. The ink in Jelly Roll Stardust pens is archival except for the glitter, which may rub off over time. 5 Jelly Roll Moonlight colors are fluorescent and glow under a backlight. That's pretty cool. I want to check that out. The Jelly Roll Stardust clear contains no color, only glitter. Stardust Clear is only available for purchase as a 2-pack. However, this one is included in this set, I believe, since it is listed right up here at the top. The Stardust Clear. And this would be one of those pens that, again, would probably work best on black paper to show. So you can actually see the glitter. And then the 2-color effect of Jelly Roll Gold Shadow and Silver Shadow shows up best on porous paper. And then the last tip, Jelly Roll White, Moonlight, and Metallic color effects show up on dark papers. So that is what I was talking about. They show the Jelly Rolls are really good for use on, again, the darker papers like the black paper and the craft paper too. And so now let's head right on to swatching out all of these pens, and then after swatching them all out, I will do a quick review and give you guys my opinion and full impression on this full range of Jelly Roll pens. So now, just before I go on to swatching all of these pens, one thing that I noticed as I was taking the pens out of this box, in which to me now the dividers are like completely unnecessary and for no reason there, because they didn't really separate the pens at all. They're just like there for show almost, because all of the pens were mixed together. And so here I have everything laid out just as this cover sheet lists or says. So starting from the left, I have the metallics, and then here I have the classics and the 0.6 and 0.8 size, or the fine and medium tip size, and then I have the Moonlight ones right here in the, again, the fine and medium tip size. And then I also have the Stardust ones right here. And then down below, since I couldn't fit it all the way across, I have the Silver Shadow right here. And then I have the Gold Shadow ones right here. So this is how it should all look, technically, but in the box, if the dividers were correct and the pens actually came sorted correctly. So that's just like the one small downside. It was really easy to sort out, again, because if you closely look, each of the different kinds of pens has their own defining mark on them. So this one, the metallic ones, are pretty simple to figure out because it said metallic on them, and it had the sparkly lids, caps. And then the regular classic jelly rolls just had like very simple, plain matte look. And then the Moonlight ones, they had the word Moonlight on them, so that was pretty easy. And then the Stardust, the Stardust ones had like a shooting star on them, or like the star and then dust behind it. And it has like a slightly sparkle cap to it. And then the Silver Shadow and the Gold Shadow were pretty straightforward. So the Silver Shadow ones, I figured out that those were the silver ones because here you have the same symbol. There's a gold and then that symbol. And then since there's none of the pens had silver on them, it was easy to assume that this one's a Silver Shadow and then the Gold Shadow. And that ended up working perfectly. And now, as we got all the pens actually sorted out this time, I will be going from just the exact order that this is showing. I'll be starting with the metallics to the classics, then to the moonlight, to the stardust, and then the silver shadow and the gold shadow to swatch them. I'll be swatching them in that order. And now let's, without further ado, after sorting all these pens out, let's get right to testing out all of these pens. And then afterwards, I will do an overall review and my impression of all the pens. Okay, so now that we have swatched all of those pens, here I have the 2 sheets of paper. I have the craft paper and the black paper in which I tested all the pens on. And here's the other side. And so to start off with my reviews, I'm going to start off, I'm just going to review each one really quick and then do an overall impression and thoughts on the whole set. So starting off with the metallic pens. Right here. So the metallic ones, as stated on the tips, the metallic ones work really nicely on black paper. And to me, these wrote quite smoothly. And I really have nothing like bad to say about these. The only thing is that one of the general things that I first caught on with the metallic, with the Jelly Rolls, was that these are a little bit inky kind of pens, so you will need to like let it dry for a little bit. But overall, for an actual like nice set of like metallic gel pens and with this variety of colors for that set, these were really, really nice. And they wrote, I wouldn't say extremely smooth, but like pretty smooth. I would rate it probably like probably at about a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 on smoothness. Other than that, everything else is like almost like the variety of colors is a 10 out of 10. The appearance is 10 out of 10 to me. So I really like those metallic pens. And then for the next set right over here, I had the Jelly Roll Classics, the 0.3 size and the 0.4. And so for these Jelly Roll Classics, I would say that since they are more of like the standard gel pens, these are equivalent to the more standard gel pens. I think that you could probably, these wouldn't be the highest rated gel pens to me. There's definitely way more higher end gel pens out there that work much better, such as like the Papermate Ink Joys, which are like really high up there for gel pens. And and like G2 pens. So these still wrote really well. A nice variety of colors, but not the biggest variety available out there with gel pens. The only pen, of course, that stands out on the side is the white pen, in which is like almost a whole separate category again, in which I'll go about later when I go over like the separate pack. But again, I would rate this set of Jelly Rolls, I think the 0.3, I would maybe a 6 to 7 out of 10, and then the 0.4s, maybe 7.5 out of 10. I'm pretty lenient. I'm not that hard of a grader, but since the colors work really nicely, the smoothness was okay, but overall still pretty good. And then heading on to the next set, as we flip over, we had the Moonlight pens. The Moonlight pens were absolutely perfect. As one of the most popular pens out there to use on black paper and craft paper. The Jelly Rolls, this is like, again, my first time like actually using all of these Jelly Rolls, so those really looked really nicely on the paper. They were, again, pretty smooth, and the variety of colors for pens that actually show up on black paper was really nice. So these are definitely getting that like 9 out of 10 rating to me. or even almost like a 10 out of 10, because those are like the perfect pens for black paper. And then heading on to the Stardust, which I have right here. The Stardust ones, I thought that they would show up on black paper, but they actually don't show up that well. And so I went back to using the craft paper on this one. So on craft paper, and this shows up perfectly nicely for like shiny, sparkly type of pens. These were quite smooth, and I haven't used that many sparkly kind of gel pens before, so these ones actually were really, really good. And for the variety colors, again, I love the Jelly Rolls because every single type of pen has like at least a certain amount of variety in there. So these ones I would give the overall rating of an 8 out of 10. And then for the silver shadow and gold shadow pens, when I filmed it, I used it on the black paper, as I mean, they show up really nicely right here, like the silver and the gold on the black paper. So they still show up really nicely on black paper. But the thing though is that you wouldn't be able to actually see the shadow effect on black paper. So I actually tested out the pens again. For example, right here, you can actually still see, you can see that shadow effect. You have the more so in the silver, you see the silver, and then there's like the color on like the edge, the side. So this is like the orange, and so here in the center you can still see like there's like that gold in the center, and then on the outside the other color. So that you weren't able to see on the black paper, but you can see it on the craft paper, and you can definitely see it on, like, I just have like a scribbly note card here, which I tested out on. So this was like a blue one, so you can see this on, this works perfectly on white paper. And so last but not least, before I go on to the last part, I'd say that after testing out the silver and gold shadows on the other paper, these are really cool pens, like with the shadow effect. So I've definitely giving these like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Not exactly 100%, because some of the shadow effects weren't like the best, but they still are super cool. And I like how they have at least like 5 different colors. Not that big of a variety that they have for these, but still a good amount of colors. And then now last but not least, as we head out of that 74 pack, I did get that set of just the Jelly Roll white pens with the 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7 tip pens. Otherwise also numbered with the 0.5, 0.8, and 10. That really confused me at first, because I'm just like, why do they use different numbers? Why can't they just do like 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7, which is the actual tip size in millimeters, rather than renumbering them with like 0.5, 0.8, and 10? And just for a quick reference, so as I have here, there's a 0.5, which is the 0.3, and then in between with the 0.4, that was a 0.6. So 0.4 is 0.6, and then the 0.5 is 0.8, and then again the 0.7 is 10. And so overall, the Jelly Roll Whites are basically the best white pens. Like at least some of the best white pens on the market to use on black paper. And shows up really nicely, and they wrote really smoothly. Yeah, I do own like one of the other higher rated white pens, like the Uniball Signos, but those just pull up so much, and these ones don't. These ones, again, you still have to let dry a little bit, but not like a giant pool of ink. So the 0.3 and 0.5 and 0.7, they wrote really nicely. And so for a general overview of the whole set of these Jelly Roll pens, plus the white pens on the side, I definitely think that this is an absolutely amazing deal that I got for $51 for this whole set compared to the single pack prices. Definitely really nice pens. Out of all of these pens, the only ones that I wouldn't exactly recommend would be the Classics, because again, as I mentioned earlier, the Classics are just the general like gel pens where you can find way more varieties out there and way more even smoother gel pens in the market with the much larger variety and tip sizes that you can choose from. But all the other ones with all of their special effects and like colors are definitely a go-to with these Jelly Rolls. And for one other reference, I made this note card right here just to show you guys which colors of paper that each type of pen actually works on. I know that I mentioned at the beginning, I thought at first that all of these would work on like the black paper, but they actually don't all really work that way. So the metallic ones work on the white craft and black paper. The Classics work only on like the white and craft paper. And then the Moonlight ones work on all three again, the white, craft, and black. The Stardust work on just the white and craft, not so much the black. And then the Silver and Gold Shadow ones work on the white and craft paper. And then I put like a dash squiggle line for the black, because again, they do work, but you don't exactly see the shadow, you just see the silver and gold. And then of course the white doesn't work on white paper, but it works perfectly on the craft and black paper. So that is my full review on this whole set of Jelly Rolls. Again, now I reorganized all of the pens into like their like respective sets. When they first, at the very beginning of this video, they were actually all mixed up, so I had to sort them all out as I showed you guys. But anyway, got that all fixed up now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video if you did, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I will be doing lots and lots more pen tests and review videos from a lot of pen sets that I bought in my previous hauls. And then I also do lots of videos on bullet journaling, lettering, lots of stationery hauls. I also do some art and drawing videos, and then some other haul kind of videos. And then plus on top of all that, all the stuff that I get from my stationery hauls, I pool up into giant pile for giveaways, in which I do constantly throughout all the time on my channel. I always try to have some kind of giveaway, or at least some giveaways coming up really soon. I know as of right now. So if you guys like stationery like I do, and like having collections and bullet journaling and all that fun kind of stuff, creative stuff, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also follow me on my social media for even more fun content and updates. And once again, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in another one.